Hey guys, so today I have here the JBL TUNE125tws wireless earbuds, and we want to compare these to its predecessor, that's the TUNE120tws, and we're going to figure out what is different and what is similar between the two models so that we can make a sound purchasing decision between the 125 or the 120, and also if it would make sense to upgrade. So from the first look you already see that both models look very similar, so there is not a lot of design changes that happened here. But let us start out by looking at the packaging, and you can immediately see that there was quite a bit of redesign here. So since there are a couple of new features that come with the TUNE125, this had to be adjusted. And a lot of changes you can see here on the side of the packaging, where the majority of the features are going to be explained here. And if you are familiar with the TUNE120, then you do know about the problem that you can only use the right earbud by itself. You are not able to use the left one by itself, which a lot of people were complaining about. And this is actually a feature that now the 125 is able to do. So now you have either the option to use the earbuds in stereo mode, so you use both at the same time, or you can also just use the right earbud or just the left earbud by themselves. So this is a feature that a lot of people were looking for. So that is a big argument to get the TUNE125. So that of course changes the functionality of the buttons on the earbuds, and that is explained here on the lower end of the packaging. You see how this is different for stereo mode or the mono mode. And right underneath there we have some technical specifications here that's for both models the same. That is here the frequency response from 20 Hz all the way up to 20 kilohertz. And then also here the size of the driver, which is 5.8 millimeters. So we probably don't have any changes in the audio functionality. So the sound of both earbuds is going to be the same since there was no change. And then underneath we have the content of the packaging. So of course we have the two earbuds with the charging case and a charging cable, as well as 3 different sized ear tips. So there was also no change, only here the pictogram of the earbuds themselves. You can see here the TUNE120 actually uses the pictogram of the JBL 3 or JBL 3X, while now the pictogram for the 125 was adjusted to show the correct shape of these earbuds. Now on the back side of the packaging there was not a whole lot of change. So you can see here still the JBL Pure bass sound, then the comfort fit and the hands-free stereo calls on the bottom. So all those 3 things have not really changed. And that also counts here for the quick charge time. So 15 minutes of charging gives you about 1 hour of playtime. But then when we look further here, you see the 125 now has a whopping 8 hours of battery life in the earbuds themselves, plus 24 hours of battery life in the charging case. So that gives us a total of 32 hours. So if we compare that to the TUNE120, then that only used to have a battery life in the earbuds of 4 hours and then an additional 12 hours in the charging case. So that's only 16 hours total. So the battery life for the TUNE125 actually has doubled now. So that is a huge advantage, and that's probably because we are now using here Bluetooth 5.0 while the 120 only was using 4.2. So this has a really huge impact that we do have twice the amount of battery life. So that is huge. But now let us have a look at the hardware itself. So we're going to start out with the charging cases. So still we have the 125 on the left and the TUNE120 on the right. And you barely see any difference here. Right now I just have here the blue colored model for the 125, so that's really just the only difference that we see here right now. And even on the back side now, there is some more writing here for the 125. You can see this here, that's totally missing on the 120. But if we take a look into the lid of the 120, then you see a lot of really small writing in there inside of the lid. So that was just moved from inside of the lid to the back of the charging case. And now looking at the bottom of the charging cases, then you see here the TUNE120 had here a small cover here, this dust protecting cover on top of the charging port, and this has completely been removed now for the 125. But that has probably to do with the fact that the 125 now comes with the USB Type-C charging port, so we don't have the older micro USB ports here anymore, so those little fragile ones. So this has been completely removed, so I really am happy to see this now here. Okay, so then we're going to open up both lids here. We're going to take a look inside of the charging cases. You see both still have the 3 LEDs to indicate the charging state of the earbud charging cases. So there was no change. Also, otherwise not a really big difference here. So between the 120 and the 125. If we take a look inside here, so underneath where the earbuds go into, then also here we still see the 3 charging pins here to charge the earbuds. Those look really similar here, so the same length and everything, so there was no obvious change here. And also when we take a look at the earbuds themselves, then you will notice that there really was no design change here. As you can see, both have the buttons here on the side, so there's no touch sensors, both buttons. And so you have on the right, you have this small LED here that is blinking here in blue or in white, depending on the state of the earbuds. And then if we look on the side, there was no change. You still have the R here, the character for the right earbud, and then the L for the left earbud. Then on the inside, we still have the 3 holes here for the charging pins. And so after a while, those used to clog up for the 120, and people were having trouble with charging their earbuds. So you still have to keep opening up those holes when they are clogged with some dust and dirt that goes in there. So there was no design change. Also, the ear tips have not changed, so there has been no adjustment there. Also here the microphone holes, so I don't know if you can see those here, this really tiny hole here on the left side on both earbuds here. So that's the hole for the microphones. The microphones have not changed, so audio wise these are really still the same. So as we said before, the drivers are the same and the battery size for both earbuds is the same. Actually, the only thing that really changed here is the weight of the earbuds. So while the TUNE120 weigh 59.6 grams, the weight of the 125 went up to 73 grams. Now, as I said before, the battery size is the same for both models, and so is the charging time for the charging case, which is 2 hours, and also about 1 hour for charging up the earbuds themselves. Yeah, so this is already it here, the comparison of the TUNE125 to the TUNE120. Hope you found this video helpful. If you have any more questions or comments, then write a message below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.